My car is going by just as I was going to talk. Today is October 28th. It's about 55 degrees outside, 10:30, right around there, something like that. We've had lows in the 40s, and we've had weather that's getting into the high 70s, low 80s, so it's been beautiful. So we've been able to do some things around the yard that we've been wanting to do for a while. So anyway, I wanted to do a garden diary. I'm starting out front, and I've got my elephant ears, and it's liking this kind of weather. Those crispy leaves are from the summer, and the other leaves are from the fall. So I think we're gonna move this to the side yard, and I'll point out where when we get there. We planted some petunias. There's some petunias down there that are doing fairly well. These, I've already forgot what these are called. Blackeyed something or others. They are slow growers. I want to move this. I worked at pulling out that grass that was over in the corner, and I'm going to continue to do that. My mom is starting to deteriorate. I finished in the yard next door, and it looks really pretty. I might get tomatoes on this. There was a Blackeyed Susan that didn't make it, but oh, in fact, I do have tomatoes on it. Right there, little tiny ones. I'm so thrilled. So here's what we worked on yesterday. We moved our palm trees from where they were hidden under the eaves of the house to over to the other wall. They look really pretty, I think. And we moved the small one over there, and then we still have our Sky Pencil Hospital going. I see no green, but doesn't mean that we have dead ones yet. Doesn't look promising though. Let's see, did we take any pots out of here? I think we just moved this pot over. Oh, we had that pot in here, I guess. It was like right here. We moved that. I moved the mums over here because we've got some new raised beds that we're gonna put where the mums were. So I'm excited about that too. Pretty good size hibiscus. I cleaned the patios. Monday we had the worst wind ever. Well, I guess the Monday before was pretty bad too. So I've been working to try to get the patios back in order after that. Go over and look at the Firethorn. It's got a bunch of orange berries on it. And what we're gonna do to try to protect these berries a little bit is we're gonna put a bar of Irish Spring out here and see if it deters the birds. Don't know that it will, but we're gonna try it. What do we got to lose? So we're going to be, we got Vigo Beds. I'll show you this Calibracoa. My husband cut the dead out of it yesterday, and so it's looking really pretty. We've had that for several years now, so it's amazing. The Cape honeysuckle are blooming, and the bees are loving it. So this is where the Vigo Beds are going. We're going to take out this pot and that little flower planter. And so this is where I took the mums out of. And then I'm gonna pull the rest of the dirt out of there and disassemble it. And then we're gonna make like a 2 by 6 foot bed right along here, which I think will, and it's British racing green, so I think it's going to be a pretty bed. And then we bought 2 round ones, one to go in the rocks there and one to replace that round one right there. So there's a Vigo bed going in here as well, and that's one of the petunias I took out front. Oh, that's the other one. I pulled out some basil. I don't think I even mentioned this. I pulled out some basil that was in that bed, and then I pulled out the lantana that was in there because it was just covered in mint, and I put new soil in there, and then I planted one of the petunias that came out of that bed over there as well. And it's looking a little rough, but I think it's gonna bounce back. Let's see, what else do I need to... I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with these. I pulled some sweet potatoes out of here, but evidently I didn't get all the sweet potatoes because there's vines coming back. So there's still sweet potatoes in that there. Anyway, this is where I got the petunia. I think there's at least 2 to 3 more in here, and I'm gonna move those around as well. And then this is where we're gonna put the other round Vigo bed. I got rid of the pumpkin plant. The wind just shredded it so horribly that I took the pumpkin plant out. The zucchini plant's trying to bounce back. It's not doing great though. The wind on Monday got it again. There is a tomato plant in there as well. I took out the melons, Kajari melon vines that were in there, and you can see there is a Blackeyed Susan on this side too. However, this one had a lot of competition. It had the Kajari vine and these cowpeas and stuff. So even though it's crawling up to the top, it's not as bushy as the one across from it. I planted some seeds yesterday in this bed, so I've got some 1,000 head kale, tree lettuce, cilantro, and a new kind of like a lemon flower choy, lemon snow choy, something like that. I think it'll be kind of cool. We're gonna trim back this hibiscus. The bottom here is looking pretty good, but the top took a toll, so my husband's gonna trim it down to my Blackeyed Susans. There's quite a few in there now. I think they're just a little happy flower. Then you can see my Cyper Spine is still hanging on, even though the wind took and wreaked havoc on it too. You can see there's, like where I had the Mexican sunflower, there's a stick in there. But I think that might be one too, this little one. I don't know if it reseeds itself or not, but you can see my tomato plants up there, and my tomato plants all the way to the top there too. The peppers also took a hit by the wind. They look pretty good now because my husband has to keep propping them up. This society garlic, that's what I pulled out of the side yard over there. It smells very garlicky. So I decided I'm going to move it over here to the garden somewhere, and I'm going to break it up into smaller baby plants. So that came out from the side yard. Look at the size of those peppers. Those are nice size. Those serranos are doing pretty well. This scabiosa is coming back. I need to cut off some of the dead that's in it. You can see that the Cyper Spine is trying to climb over that trellis too. It just went crazy. And I think I looked in one of my videos, like at the end of June, you couldn't even see this thing. Still got lots of bees on here and got lots of flowers. I'm gonna start cutting this back because I want to plant in that 4x4 bed there. So that's gonna be one of the spots the bees are gonna miss. Oh, you can see how big this strawberry plant got. And there's one, I think there's a strawberry, yeah, right in there that looks really healthy too. And then of course my artichokes grew like crazy. Ooh, this petunia's coming back too. I love this time of year. It allows me to work on the yard and things still grow and are pretty. I mean, I don't like the leaf part. I like the leaf changing. I don't like having to gather them all up. Zinnias are almost done. This looks pretty. My marigolds. That's why I haven't done anything with this bed. This bed needs new soil and stuff, but I haven't wanted to touch it because the basil still looks healthy, and so do the marigolds. Even there's some basil growing down here that looks really pretty. So, this poor thing, in fact, it's coming out of the ground. The wind just was merciless on it. This plant over here is not that great. That one is really pretty. And then I think in the next day or so, I'm gonna pull everything out of this bed, redo the soil, and this is where my walking onions are going. I have about 10 walking onions to plant. I smell that garlic. Strong. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet. I haven't decided. I think I want to plant this thing out too. I want to get this all along the back planted. The other thing we're going to do is between the two beds, we're going to put an arch. So there's going to be an arch where that path is. And then there's also going to be a path because we just don't like walking on these rocks. So this path is going to follow the old mow line that we had for the grass. And it's going to meander back there and then go towards the shed. I think it'll be pretty cool looking. And then we'll have a way to get our wheelbarrows around. This looks like a jungle. It's pretty. That sago looks so pretty. It's really dark green. I've been toying with the idea of taking these palms out. This one's kind of got some fungus or something on it, although it looks better than it did the last couple of years. But I'm thinking I might want to put some flowers in here. I'm getting some tulips too, and I'm not sure where I want all this stuff to go yet. I'm gonna start shaping my lavender again. But yeah, that's kind of overgrown there. Oh, and then my roof is still doing pretty good. So I'm kind of glad I moved the roof there. So lots to do, but it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. That's my garden diary. Today is the 24th of October, and this is what we got out of the garden. We got a zucchini, a cucumber, a couple of serrano peppers that turned red. This pepper was laying on the ground. These I think are cubanelles. This is a Santa Fe. This is a sweet pepper. These three are sweet peppers, and then I have some cowpeas, about 3 different kinds of cowpeas. Today, excuse me, today is October 27th. And this is what we got out of the garden. Some peppers, a few cow peas, and I tore out the Kajari melons, and this one was laying on the ground. There was one other orange one that was kind of big, but it looked squishy. I mean, it felt kind of squishy, so I put it in the compost.